Yo-yo and hello, my name is Lydia, and on today's episode of my 25-pound yo-yo, we will be talking about why women should not be eating the same amount as men. Now, I've heard this so many times from my female friends that their boyfriend or husband can seemingly eat whatever they want and not gain any weight, and it's just not fair. Well, there is some truth to that, but I don't think a lot of people understand why. So let's watch this next clip and then we'll come back and discuss. Why you can't eat like him. I've heard many times that my boyfriend or husband is so lucky. He can eat whatever he wants and not get fat. It's not fair. My metabolism isn't as good as his. And you know what? You're right. His metabolism is better than yours. But it's not luck. It's science. And here's why. Let's do a comparison of me and my boyfriend. We are both active people that eat healthy for the most part, but we are obviously made differently. I'm 5'4" and 125 pounds, and he's 5'10" and 175 pounds. But because I'm a woman, I naturally carry more fat than he does. My body composition has me at about 24% fat, where he is at about 14% fat. Remember, men and women are different. It would be unrealistic and unhealthy for me to be 14% body fat. At our current weights, we are both considered equally healthy. BMR stands for basal metabolic rate. That's the number of calories you need to consume per day to maintain your weight without any exercise. At my size, my BMR is 1,207 calories per day, whereas my boyfriend has a BMR of 1,660 calories per day. Now, we are both active people and try to exercise intensely and often. If we factor in exercising 4 times per week, my daily caloric needs move to 1,871 calories per day, and his move to 2,573 calories per day. That's a daily difference of 702 calories. That means that if I ate what my boyfriend eats to maintain his weight, I will be eating an extra 4,914 calories per week. That will result in gaining 1.4 pounds per week. But what about exercise? We exercise together all the time. Well, if we both go for a 5K run together and it takes about 30 minutes, I will have burned 292 calories, whereas he will have burned 408 calories. So, in order to burn the same amount, I will need to run an extra 12 minutes and cover an extra 2 kilometers. But even if I exercise more to reach the same caloric burn, it still doesn't even out. If I eat what he needs to eat to maintain his weight, I'm still at a caloric surplus of 594 calories per day. This means I will gain 1.2 pounds per week. That's 4.8 pounds per month and 62 pounds per year. And here's the most shocking part. If I continued to live my boyfriend's healthy lifestyle of eating and exercising exactly how he does, I will keep gaining weight until I hit a whopping 225 pounds. That's right, I will gain 100 pounds in less than 2 years if I live the same life of a fit male. So no, it doesn't seem fair, but it's not abnormal. It's science. So what do we do about it? Well, we make changes to our diet that allow us to live our best lives without gaining weight. We can eat the same things, but we just need to adjust our portions. And as a smaller person, your appetite should be smaller than his. And if it isn't, well, you can pad your diet with low-calorie dense foods. So before I started making this video, I knew that there was a discrepancy between men and women, but I didn't realize how big of a discrepancy it was until I started to crunch the numbers. So let's start with the first one being body composition. Now, men and women we know are made differently. And when I'm comparing myself with my boyfriend and he's at about 14% body fat and I'm at about 24% body fat, that makes a huge difference in what we are allowed to eat. Now, it takes more calories to sustain muscle than it does to sustain fat. So therefore, if you weigh the same but have more muscle mass, you can actually eat more. Now, if I were to be 14% body fat, just like my boyfriend, I would be allowed to eat an additional 1,200 calories per day. That would be if I was at the exact same weight as I am, and I would lose 12 pounds of fat and gain 12 pounds of muscle. 1,200 calories a day more I could eat. But the truth is that's pretty much impossible. I cannot lose 12 pounds of fat and gain 12 pounds of muscle. That's like an impossibility for a woman. If I were to really, really, really work hard and get myself down to 14% body fat, which is possible, it's what bikini competitors pretty much are at, I would not be this weight. If I fought really, really hard and worked out and watched my diet to get to 14% body fat, I wouldn't be 125 pounds. I'd be closer to 110 pounds. And then my caloric needs would drop because I would be maintaining a lower body mass. So the whole discrepancy of, well, I can just bulk up and get some more muscle and lose some body fat and I can eat more, it doesn't really work that way, because if I were to have that low body fat percentage of 14%, which is not recommended, it's not healthy to be that low, my body weight would not be 125 pounds. There's no way. So you have to learn to accept the fact that our body compositions are different, and so therefore our calorie needs are going to be different. The other thing that we have to come to terms with is exercise. When you are bigger, and especially if you have more muscle, you are going to burn more through exercise. Now, a couple years ago, my boyfriend and I were running a lot together. We were running a 10K every single Sunday, and I was pushing myself that particular month. I remember I wanted to see if I could run 150 kilometers in that month. So I was running about 5 or 6 kilometers a day, and every Sunday I would do a 10. I think I made it to 150 kilometers or 152 kilometers by the end of that month. And I was in the best cardio shape of my life. However, I gained weight that month. The extra cardio made me really hungry, and I ate more. So let's say my boyfriend and I did a big run on Sunday. And for him, that big run would burn 800 calories, but for me, it only burned 550 calories. That's still quite a lot, but we would have the same big breakfast after, and that big breakfast could tally about 650 calories. So that would put him in a deficit, but me in a surplus. So if we had that same routine of running and then having a big meal after, he was actually losing weight and I was actually gaining weight. So it doesn't seem fair, but that's just the way that our bodies are. When I look at the difference in caloric needs that he has versus me, it's 700 calories a day, which is quite a lot. But when you break it into how many extra calories per meal, it's not that much, and it's very easy to overeat. That's about 230 calories per meal. That's like a piece of bread with some butter on it. It's very easy as a woman to be eating what their partner eats and get those extra calories and thus gain weight. So I have to make an effort when I'm making my portions to say, oh, this is for him, but I don't need that much. I need about 2/3 to 3/4 of what he's eating is what my serving is. And I'm also very, very aware of low calorie dense food. So if I happen to be extra hungry, well, then I'm going to get an extra serving of vegetables on top of my meal. I don't need the bread with butter. I don't need extra rice. I don't need extra pasta, because all that's going to do is give me extra calories that I don't need, and thus I will start to gain weight. I think the biggest surprise I had when I was starting to do the math on this was exactly how much weight I would gain if I were to actually match what my boyfriend eats. And I think that what was surprising was not only would I meet his weight, but I would well surpass his weight. So if I ate what he ate, I would be 225 pounds and he would still be 175 pounds. But that's because it takes 2 calories per hour to maintain 1 pound of fat and 6 calories per hour to maintain a pound of muscle. And because our body compositions are different, not only would I meet the 175 pounds, I would blow way past it and go to 225, because for each pound of muscle that he has, I would have 3 pounds of fat. I'm not saying I can't gain muscle. Of course, women can gain muscle, but it's much, much, much more difficult and highly unlikely that I would ever be able to gain as much muscle as what he has. I know this whole thing seems really unfair, but you have to put it into perspective as to what you actually need and then deduce if it's unfair. I started to think about it with my children. So as my kids were growing, their appetites changed and they needed more food and they would grow. When they were babies, I would never take an adult-sized serving of spaghetti and put it in front of them and expect them to eat it. No, that's not what their caloric needs are. Like whatever they ate would probably fit in the palm of my hand for a meal. That's because they're small. They don't need that much food. I have to look at it the same way. My boyfriend does not need the same amount of food as I need. He needs more. And if he were to eat what I need, well, he would feel like he's starving all the time and he would lose a lot of weight. So the fairness it's all about perspective. I can't eat as much as he eats, but should I? I should feel satisfied with my caloric needs met. So if I have to eat around 16 to 1800 calories a day, I should feel satisfied with that. I should not feel deprived that I can't eat 2500 calories a day like he can. Just like how my babies were satisfied with the half a cup of cereal that they were getting and didn't cry because they wanted 2 cups. They're eating what they need to have their bellies full and to give them enough energy. So it's all about perspective here. But many, many couples, I see this all the time. You see a really thin man with a fat woman, and that is because they are eating the same amount of food every day, but he has different caloric needs than she does. And like I said, if I were to eat and exercise exactly the same as my boyfriend, I would be 100 pounds heavier than I am now. But alas, this is my 25-pound yo-yo and not how to eat like a man and look like a woman. So until next time, yo-yo and let's go.